Thank you very much for having me in Johannesburg, especially through such a fascinating box. And normally I do longer speech, so I've tried to reduce everything to match the 5 to 8 minutes, and there's a few slides that I will present you. So my name is Steve Tineo. I'm from Geneva, Switzerland, and I'm an expert in negotiation, in conflict resolution. But more than that, I'm an entrepreneur as well and mental coach. I've been working with a couple of athletes and Formula One drivers. So because we have a limited time, I'm going to ask to go to slide 2, and I will start with a very important sentence. In slide 2, please. We don't only negotiate something, we negotiate with someone. It's the slide number 2. Okay, if there's a problem with the slide, I will. Okay, so if it's 85%, let me just, okay, I'm sorry about this. So 85%. In my world, there is 2 colors. And when I started teaching negotiation, there is something very important you need to understand. There is the technique of negotiation, which it's the color blue, which I'm going to call aptitude, and the orange, which is the attitude. It's our behavior. It's how we behave in any type of negotiation, conflict resolution. So I want to start with this 85 because there's positive and negative. So in engineering school and business school, it is known, especially in Switzerland where we collaborate with the schools, that 85% of all of the startups that fail, it's not because they're underfinanced, it's not because they don't have a good idea. 85%, it's a conflict between the founders or the shareholders. And it's the same with that family. 85% of the wealth has a problem transferring past the 3rd generation. So the 2nd generation, there's only 30% transmission of the wealth, 15% remaining at the 3rd generation, so a destruction of 85%. And guess what? It's mainly because of conflict within the families, between the siblings, and between the cousins. So I've specialized myself. Now, if we can go, sorry. Yes, and I want to give the 85%, which is the orange. It's 85% of success. It's not only talent, but it's attitude. And I'm going to talk about it in a minute. So if we can go to slide 5, just to introduce myself. So I worked extensively over 800 missions as a professional negotiator and expert in conflict resolution. I was even lucky enough to work for your own president at the request of the African Development Bank. And so I worked with a few presidents. I worked with a lot of big companies, listed companies, banks. And normally they call me when all the human aspects is getting into a nightmare and they need more than lawyers. They need more than the aptitude, the blue, the rational to handle the conflicts. But they called me to handle the orange one because a conflict is emotional. If it's rational, then it's called a disagreement, and a rational solution can be found. But a conflict is emotional, and an emotional solution has to be found with all the stakeholders. So this is my specialty, and if we can go to slide 6, you will see that we've wrote a book with Sonia Grimm, that you're gonna be introduced a little bit later. We wrote a best-selling book, which is the orange aspect of life. It's not only the skills, it's not what you know, it's how you use what you know. It's not what you do, it's how you're gonna do what you do. So if we can now go to slide 7, I want to make a very important point. Slide 7, about success. So 3 of the main universities in the US, Harvard, Carnegie, and Stanford, came out with a joint study about success. For them, success is self-realization. And they realized that success is 15% what you know, the blue, the rational, and 85% how you behave. They call that behavior. So what we call the attitude. And if you look at all the studies that we found in psychology, the way you behave is more important than actually what you know. And this is what I bring into all of my programs. If we can go to slide 8. There is 8, there is aptitude on the left, which is the holistic model. Aptitude on the left, it's the blue. It's 15% the training, the skills, what you know, your technical knowledge. And then if you look on the right, attitude, it's 85%. It's everything that has a direct link to your own behavior, to how you behave in life. So it can be resilience, it can be emotional intelligence, it can be your fears, it can be your values and characters, everything that is going to create that emotional value. And we're going to stop for the slide here because I see there's only 2 minutes left. But it's very important to realize that when we teach tools to people, they don't know how to use the tools. And we see them, especially in negotiation and conflict resolution, but in leadership mainly. And I go back to that first sentence. When people ask me, Steve, what do you negotiate? I don't negotiate something. I negotiate with someone. And in our programs, we have plenty of stories. We have plenty of real adventures or examples coming out of all the missions we did on the field. And it's half coming from the field and half linked to academic. So in the conferences, we have lectures. We have normally 30, 45 minutes. We have sometimes lunch, 2 hours, complete program with Q&A, and we can have longer programs, 3.5 hours, sometimes 1 day, sometimes even a few days. So I'm almost at 7 minutes. I want to thank you very much to have listened to me, and sorry for the little problem with the slides. And if you have any questions or anything, I would be absolutely delighted to answer everything for you. Thank you very much.